They have almost nothing, yet they still smile. Most people imagine their 70s as a time to slow down. A quiet home, a comfortable chair, maybe retirement savings, and after decades of work, finally, some rest. But high in the mountains of Vietnam, life looks very different for one elderly couple. He's 76 years old, his wife is 74. Their bodies are no longer as strong as they once were. Their steps are slower, their backs hurt after long days of work. But every morning, they still get up and continue doing what they have done for years. Because for them, retirement was never really an option. They still have to work to survive. Their home is simple. There are no expensive decorations, no modern kitchen filled with appliances, no comfortable retirement lifestyle waiting for them. Everything around them reflects a life built around necessity rather than luxury. And when it is time to work, things become even more difficult. In many parts of the United States, farming today can involve tractors, harvesters, irrigation systems, and machines capable of doing in hours what once required days of human labor. But for this elderly couple, there is no large harvesting machine waiting outside. There isn't even an easy flat field beside their home. To grow their corn, they have to make their way through steep mountainous land. Imagine being 76 years old, and instead of waking up and deciding where to spend your retirement, you're thinking about whether your body can handle another climb up the mountain. Yet the old man keeps going, and beside him is the woman who has shared his life for decades. At 74, she continues working too, step by step, day after day. Their hands tell a story that words cannot. Hands hardened by years of physical labor. Hands that planted crops. Hands that carried food home. Hands that built a life without many of the conveniences that most of us rarely think about. For someone watching from a comfortable home, their life might immediately look sad, but spend a little more time watching them. And something unexpected begins to appear. They smile, they talk to each other. They continue their daily routines together. There's hardship in their lives, certainly, but hardship is not the only thing there. There's companionship, there is resilience, and there is a quiet kind of happiness. Their family story also carries a painful loss. The couple had 2 children, a son and a daughter. Their son, sadly, passed away. There are some losses that no parent should ever have to experience. Losing a child is one of them. Their daughter eventually grew up, married, and began a family life of her own. And so as the years passed, the elderly couple found themselves spending much of their old age with only each other, 2 people, one simple home, and a lifetime of memories. You might expect such circumstances to make them bitter, but somehow they still find reasons to smile. Maybe after spending so many decades together, happiness has taken on a different meaning for them. It isn't about owning more. It isn't about having the newest things. Sometimes happiness is simply knowing that when tomorrow comes, the person who has walked beside you for most of your life will still be there. Their days are physically demanding. Growing corn on mountainous land isn't easy even for someone young. For people in their 70s, every trip becomes more difficult. They have to watch their footing. They have to conserve their strength. And when the harvest comes, much of the work still depends on their own hands. There is no giant machine doing everything for them. No button that suddenly makes the difficult work disappear. What technology can accomplish quickly elsewhere may still require hours of physical labor here. And that's what makes their story so striking. We often complain when technology is slow. We become frustrated when food delivery takes too long. We replace phones that still work because a newer model has arrived. We sometimes measure whether our lives are improving by how much more we can buy. Then somewhere else in the world, a 76-year-old man and his 74-year-old wife are climbing a mountain to grow the food that helps sustain them. That doesn't mean poverty should be romanticized. Their work is difficult. Their age makes that work even harder, and access to better equipment could make their lives considerably easier. But their story raises an interesting question. How much do we actually need in order to feel that life is worth living? Perhaps wealth has more than one definition. There is financial wealth, a large house, savings, cars, land, technology, comfort. Those things matter. Money can provide security, healthcare, opportunities, and freedom from many everyday worries. There's nothing wrong with wanting a comfortable life. But there is another kind of wealth that is much harder to measure. Having someone who stays beside you when life becomes difficult. Being able to laugh after experiencing loss, waking up without much, but still finding a reason to appreciate another day. By the first definition, this elderly couple may have very little. By the second, perhaps they are richer than they appear. When the old man walks up the mountain, his wife is still part of his journey. When there is work to do, they face it together. When there is food, they share it. When the day ends, they return to the same simple home. They have experienced youth together. They have raised children. They have experienced the pain of losing a son. They have watched their daughter grow up and begin her own married life. And now they are growing old together. There is something powerful about that. Not because their hardship should be celebrated, but because hardship has not taken away their ability to care for one another. Many of us spend years chasing the next thing. A better job, a bigger home, a newer car, more money, more followers, more recognition. We tell ourselves, when I finally get this, I'll be happy. Then we get it, and soon there's something else we want. This couple's life doesn't prove that money is meaningless, far from it. Better financial circumstances could make their old age safer and more comfortable. But their story reminds us that money and happiness are not exactly the same thing. Comfort can make life easier, but connection can make life meaningful. Tomorrow morning, the mountains will still be there. The corn will still need attention. Their home will still be simple, and their bodies will still be older than they were yesterday, yet they'll continue slowly together. Perhaps that's the part of their story worth remembering. Two elderly people who don't have an easy life, two people who have experienced poverty, exhausting work, and heartbreaking loss. Yet when they look at each other, they can still smile. Maybe happiness isn't always found in having everything. Sometimes it's found in having someone beside you when you have almost nothing. And perhaps the next time we complain about something small, we might remember the 76-year-old man and his 74-year-old wife climbing a mountain together, not so that we feel guilty for having more, but so that we remember to appreciate what we already have, because one day when everything else becomes less important, the people who walk beside us may be the greatest wealth we ever had.